Sweated to the truth, nothing but the truth. Put my hands on the Bible, y'all point me to the booth. Sweated to the truth.
So in the watching of the Tyre Nichols video, I hope that we can finally see that evil has nothing to do with the color of your skin, but with the content of one's character. As we can see in this video, there were 5 black police officers who brutally beat a black man. One situation that many people would try to attribute to thinking that a white man would do, simply because we always want to add color to these situations. But this is one of those times where one would say the people who are your own color will do you just as bad, or if not, even worse. And regardless of what people had to say, he should have just complied. He should have just laid down. There has to be at least a level of respect, just as from one man to the other. A level of respect, or a way, just simply a way that I would address a situation, or somebody would come at me pertaining to anything, regardless of the badge. Now, I'm not saying that, well, because I'm a man and I feel disrespected, and you got the gun, you got the nightstick, you got the pepper spray, and you got the authority, on your side, that I'm not going to obey orders. But there's a level of respect that you should approach, that you should approach another man with, regardless of your badge or not. And honestly, I feel like this shows the weakness of a man if he's not willing, if he doesn't realize that he is in the position of authority, but he still addresses a man as a man. That's what goes to show the strength and the character of a real man. Don't act tough because you got a badge on. Don't act tough just because you got a gun. Because you got a gun now, or just because you got people with you. It just shows how weak you actually are. And I say all that because the way this situation was even addressed, there might have been some type of traffic, some type of reckless driving, or whatever the case may be, which still wasn't or isn't justified. But to rush up to the vehicle, and as you're approaching the vehicle, get the F out the car. Get the F out the car, I'm gonna break your ish. And to grab this man and literally drag him out the car without just doing the proper procedural stop, I feel like it's all unjustified. If this man just didn't get off no type of killing spree, or the type of things when they put a warrant out for somebody's arrest, or they put a warning sign up and they say man dangerous, shoot on sight. There wasn't no type of ordeal going on with this guy. The police officers just run up to the car, pull the man out, snatch him out, and telling him shut the F up, calling him out his name. We gonna break. Bro, you would have literally thought this was on some gang initiation type stuff. Either way, the whole thing was unjustified from beginning up until the end. And if I'm just being honest, and if I'm just being real, given in that type of situation, if police officers addressing me and coming at me like that, I honestly don't know how I would react either. I don't know of whether to lay there or to run, because the way that you address me was on some gang related type stuff, as if you trying to jack me and you trying to take my car. That's literally vibe that I felt coming from this video. So I don't know whether to lay down because I'm finna get robbed, or if I'm finna go to jail, or if I'm about to get killed. I don't know if I need to get up and run. I don't know if I need to get up and run or not. And now I'm watching the video the whole time, and in my mind, I'm just like, bro, just for life's sake, just lay down. Anything else can be handled. Anything else can be handled afterwards. I'm like, man, just lay down, please, because these dudes already on some other stuff. These dudes already on some unjustified treatment that you're not supposed to do as a police officer. And then the meeting up on another street to basically beat this man to a pulp like he was a dog. Totally unjustifiable. You don't hold a man up and just throw punches at him like he's a punching bag, like you training for your next fight. The man's not a punching bag, the man's a human being. But the major point that people need to know about this is not about white or this is not about black. And we clearly see this here. This has nothing to do with white and black. This has everything to do with good and evil. Again, this is a perfect case of, as people would say, your own kind would do you just as bad or even worse off. This looked like some stuff literally from the 40s, from the 30s and 40s. Like they just had the power and just wanted to go out and just beat the brakes out somebody before they clocked in and went home. We have to come to a point to where we realize that this is bigger. And this was a perfect example. We hate that it had to be this way. I was talking to a friend of mine who so happens to be a police officer in Memphis. He's not a part of that unit. But it was amazing to me how he said that when this actually took place and when it took place and happened, that people were really mad that it was not white officers. And I said, really? He said, bro, they were so upset that it was not white officers. And I said, because that tends to make the bigger story or make the bigger press or just pushes the narrative. But it's sad. That, like, I'll say this. Just imagine had that been white officers, to the level of disgust and what would have transpired after that. How people would have reacted pertaining to it being white officers. Now, I'm not pushing for and saying let's act the same way that we would, because I'm pretty sure Memphis will be on fire right about now if 5 white officers done that to this young man. But what I am saying is see the bigger picture. Read between the lines. This isn't about white and this isn't about black. But people try their best to push a narrative because they want things to look a particular way. And the truth is, things are not that particular way. That there is a bigger issue at play. There is good versus evil. We are in a spiritual war, and the devil is the manipulator, is the mastermind behind, is the master manipulator behind all the evil that's taking place. But he would like us to not put our attention on him, but make somebody or something else out to be the problem and cause us to divide and come against one another instead of coming together, all colors, and tearing down the forces of evil, tearing down the dark, tearing down what institutions and strongholds the devil has put in place. That's the reason God sent his son, so that we can come together as a people. Whites, blacks, Mexicans, Chinese, it doesn't matter. We could come together as a people and take dominion over this earth as God has given us and expose all darkness, expose all evil, and bring everything back into subjection under Christ. But to the family, I'm most definitely praying for you and with you all that God would comfort you in this time, because I couldn't imagine the pain, and I couldn't imagine the pain that you're going through from this loss, and then for it to be all over the world, and for people for people to see just how your son or brother or nephew or cousin, was done. We're definitely praying that God will console you in this time and just be your comforter through it all. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I love you all. Y'all be safe out here. Peace.
Swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth. Put my hands on the Bible, y'all point me to the booth. Swear to tell